So good morning, everyone. Today, it's an important subject: how to make effective product and business, or more specifically, marketing claims in our business here with Nikan. I want to talk about what we can say. So much of the time, we rely on regulations, rules, and restrictions, compliance departments, and other such places that tell us, don't say this, don't say that, you can't say this, you can't do that. And we get all of this instruction what we can't do, but often get very little guidance on what we can do. I have worked very hard in my preparation for this call today not to spend time focusing on what we can't say. So I'm not going to talk about that today. There is not going to be discussion on FTC requirements, regulations, rules, policies, and things we shouldn't say. There are some basic rules, of course, that we avoid certain phrases, like we don't want to use the words treat, prevent, or cure disease or illness and that type of thing. That's important to note as a starting point. But I want to stress this. Too often we totally misunderstand the role of what a marketing claim is in the first place. We look at one aspect. What is it we can say scientifically, specifically, that validates our product to the end user or our business to a prospect? And we look exclusively in that little space, and we miss out on all these other tricks and tools that marketing experts across the world use on us every single day. So this is what I'm going to do. I've got a presentation I'm going to share. I'm going to break it up into a couple of parts. I'm going to define what marketing claims are and how they get divided into specific buckets or groups of claims. Then I'm going to give some examples of different tools that marketing experts use on a daily basis to get their product claims across under the most difficult of circumstances, because regulations and requirements to be restrictive on claims applies across the board, not just in Nikan or in direct selling, but in every business and every industry. There is caution aplenty with regulators afoot. So we have this space to work within, but there are things that we can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give examples of what a certain skill looks like in practical use, and using examples that we'll see and recognize and relate to all the time. And I'm going to do that so that we can see, yeah, that makes sense. I've seen that. I've heard that before. And then I'm going to give an example of how that applies with Nikan products, so we can see how that works in that context. So you get both conventional examples and then a Nikan specific example to see how it works. And then hopefully we can go from there. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to share my screen and we will get beginning. Okay. So just to make sure, can you see my cover screen there? Product claims, crafting a message. Okay, so here we go. I'll put my image on the top right-hand corner. Okay, and notice what I'm saying here, crafting a message with impact and confidence. That's what we want to do. It's a craft. In order to get a product claim succinct and have power and have meaning and value, it's got to have a time spent in crafting it, planning it, and preparing it. We can't shoot from the hip, and we can't just let things fall out of our mouths and hope that that does justice. Any professional business will spend plenty of good time crafting their message so that it has maximum impact on the end user. That's what we're going to talk about today, how to have maximum impact with the end user. Okay, so there are three kinds of marketing claims that we make. And for context, a marketing claim is any assertion that we make about Nikan, about the business, about our organization, about the opportunity, or about the product, and it goes across any channel. It can show up in our digital marketing space, such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it. It shows up in promotions, in presentations, webinars, such as this, public statements that we make, testimonials. They're often one that we often feel very careful of when we make the product testimonials, podcasts, or events. So really, wherever we speak or communicate about our business in any way, That's a space where a claim can happen. Now, they can come into different ways, as we can see here. We can use superlatives, we're the best, proof points, our products are natural and organic, or even simple statements. We do these things so that you don't have to. But they fall into these three critical buckets, and each of them, as we'll go into in just a second, have their own specific objective. We have category drivers, we have points of differentiation, and then we have context. Each marketing claim that we make will fall into one of these three buckets. And you'll notice that as you look over what you've said in the past, if you review any testimonials that we've got or any presentations we've given, we'll see that our claims will fall into these three areas automatically. The first one is a category driver. That explains the benefit of an entire product category. Now, I'm going to pause for just a second. If you've got a pen and some paper handy, I would encourage you to take notes. This is being recorded. I'm also going to invite you to watch this again. There's a lot of information I'm going to share here, but the objective here is, as you'll hopefully see as we go through this, this is not going to be, although I will give examples, this is not going to be a long list of what you can say in context of scientific claims or factual evidence to support the benefits of our products. What this is a marketing training class. And the reason it's a marketing training class is because, as you'll see through this, any claims that we make are marketing messages. So we need to understand that. And when we do, hopefully we'll reach the end of this call and go, there is so much more to making claims that I realized that I have opportunity to invest in that I wasn't making the most of before. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm going to have examples, so don't worry about that. But this is a class, so take notes. Use this, share it, teach from it a lot, because we've got so much room to say so much more than what we currently do. So again, a category driver helps to explain the benefit of an entire product category. At the most basic level, as you can see here, it explains, why does a consumer need my product? This is particularly relevant in a company such as Nikan because we have unique product categories. They are very valuable and they are very important, but we need to make sure that people understand the need for our product to begin with. And we can start at a grassroots level by focusing on the category. So category claims in this context will educate, they'll reassure, or they'll develop understanding around that product category. Okay, I'll use those words again. They will educate, they will reassure, or they will develop understanding around our category. Okay, so we'll talk about some of these in just a minute. So keep those words in mind. But of course we know that education, assurance, and understanding is not enough, is it? Because again, notice the words that I'm using. These are marketing claims. I haven't said product claim. I haven't said business claim here. I'm using the words marketing claim because it is marketing activity that makes these claims come into existence in the first place. Which means if it's a marketing claim, there is embedded within it some type of response or reaction or call to action that we want the other person, the consumer, be it product or business, to respond with as a consequence of what they hear. Okay, we're not simply just informing them or educating them. We want to do more. So what's the next thing? Well, there's differentiation. And this is the next layer of claims that we want to make. This is when what we want to do is help our product specifically stand out above other brands. We want to answer this question. Why should I choose your brand over all others? That's the question that this type of claim wants to address. We've educated, we've encouraged and inspired, or maybe reassured. We've given understanding and context here, but why should I pick your brand over someone else's? So this wants to be able to demonstrate our relevant and unique benefits. Now, again, if we're only looking at what we can't say, and specifically within the context of regulations, rules, compliance, saying you can't use this language, only, then we're going to get stuck and frustrated pretty quick. So again, this is a marketing class. There is so much more we can say other than what legal tell us we can't say, okay? So the last point, context. This goes a little bit deeper. The first two layers of claims answer the questions what and why, don't they? Category driver explains what, differentiation explains why. The context marketing claims dig into how, where, and when. And so they can get very, very specific. And they are perhaps a little bit more timely in the way that they are given. And again, you'll see how this relates to marketing. Because maybe the message that we're sharing right now is around the new year. Maybe it's time for Super Bowl, which we just had in the US just not that long ago. Maybe the city that we're in is experiencing a heat wave or a particularly cold winter. So what you'll see here is the context claims are usually temporary, but they can make very strong, relevant, immediate points. Again, why? For the consumer to take immediate action. That's what it's all driving towards, isn't it? The purpose of making any claim is to help a consumer make a choice and a decision and to take action. Okay, that's what it's all about. But we want to do that ethically. We want to do it truthfully. We want to do it in a way that is compliant. But at the same time, if we only listened to what the legal team had to say, we wouldn't get very far very quickly. Let me give you a brief example of this. I remember when I was in a company experiencing significant crisis. The government was taking that company to court, and as a consequence of that, with this big FTC equivalent department seeking to shut the business down, we had legal teams left, right, and center helping us out to fight the case. Let me just pause the share here. And the consequence of that was really interesting. We had our internal legal team, our European legal team, our global legal team from the head office. We also had external experts within our industry legal teams, and then expert legal teams that were experts in this particular crisis. So you can imagine there were a lot of lawyers in the office. And we were reinventing a lot of marketing material. And everything, as you can imagine, under this heat and pressure, got fed through the legal departments. And I remember going back to my boss on one occasion, showing him some marketing material. And he said, "Oh, why did you want to say it that way?" I said, "Well, that's what legal is saying we've got to do." And he said, "Ben," he said, "legal are there to advise us, to give us counsel. But we're the business leaders. We're the ones who make the business decisions, right? Otherwise," he said, "if we listen to everything they said," he said, "then every piece of marketing material would look like a legal contract." Yeah, because that's just kind of how they're wired. Now, I'm not saying that their advice is bad or wrong or shouldn't be listened to. Please don't misinterpret that. What I'm saying is we need to get a balance of understanding the legal framework that we have, but also marrying that with marketing, creativity, and initiative so that we get an outcome that allows business to thrive and prosper. Otherwise, if we only had one department in the company, which was legal, we wouldn't be a very great marketing company, would we? If we only had marketing but didn't have legal, well, we could get into all sorts of trouble because we might get too creative, yeah? So what we want to do is get a balance between the two. So we know the balance from the legal perspective because they throw that at us on a regular basis in the environment that we operate in. So today, now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my presentation and share with you some different tools that marketers use in order to be creative and operate within the context of that legal space to come up with phrases and terms that we hear every day, so much so that we don't always hear what we're hearing, right? And so hopefully this gives us space to get creative a little bit. So I'm going to go back to sharing and let's see what we can learn as a consequence. Okay, so on to the next slide. I'm going to go through different types of claims that we can use. Now, the weasel claim, let me give you the context as to why this is called a weasel claim. Weasels have a knack for being able to, when they catch eggs, to carefully break the egg with its teeth, drink the contents, and leave the shell looking pretty much untouched. From the outside, it looks like a full and healthy egg, but on the inside, it looks quite different. In that context, we have the weasel claim. Here we introduce words, they're called modifiers, that allow us to say something that has value without getting in trouble with things such as the law or compliance or regulators, okay? And I'm gonna use here examples of what we experience every day so that you can take, you don't have to take my word for it. You'll see it on television, you'll see it on news, on advertising, everywhere you go, in magazines and newspapers, wherever you might see ads. Let me give you this example, number one. Helps control dandruff symptoms with regular use. The weasel words there are helps control and maybe even symptoms and regular use. But notice how the claim does not say it stops dandruff. It says helps control dandruff symptoms with regular use. What did you hear though when you read that for the first time? Helps control dandruff symptoms with regular use. What our mind automatically goes to is, oh, it will stop my dandruff. Didn't say that. Didn't say that. Example number two, leaves dishes virtually spotless. We've seen so many ads like this, haven't we, that we've almost tuned them out, these weasel words. Now, I want you to do this. After we've watched this presentation, keep an eye out for weasel words when you're watching TV, when the TV commercials are on, when you're reading through magazines or thumbing through something online and you see the ads come up, spot the weasel words. You'll see them everywhere. We get to say so much when we use weasel words. What we hear is leaves dishes spotless. We almost tune out that virtually. Listerine fights bad breath. It fights it, it doesn't stop it. And maybe Listerine is a weak fighter at best. Maybe it fights it very badly. We don't know. Actually, I think Listerine is a great product and it does a good job. But my point is, the use of the word fight opens up the door to mean so much. Listerine fights bad breath. Okay, so here are examples that you can see we are familiar with, that we see all the time around us every day. We're bombarded with this so much so we lose sight of it. We don't even hear it. And we just respond exactly how advertisers, promoters, and clever marketers want us to react, by making a choice, taking action, having trust, responding positively to their message. That's what they want us to do. How can we apply this to Nikken? Let's look at some examples that we can use here. First of all, I'll put this slide in to give you some examples of weasel words. Okay, so what are some weasel words? Make a note, write these down, take a screenshot if you must. But here are the weasel words. Helps, that's the champion weasel, I like that. Like, that's a simile, yeah? Virtual or virtually, acts, works, can be, up to, as much as, refreshes, comforts, tackles, fights, the feel of, the look of, looks like, fortified, enriched, strengthened. We can use all of these words, and when we tag them into talking about our business or our product, we can enrich, strengthen, fortify, and make that, oh, I just used a lot of weasel words just then. Make it sound pretty awesome, yeah? So make a note of those words, because right now, all we are doing is saying, I can't use the word treat, prevent, and cure, and I can't use the word pain, right? So I fumble around the word discomfort, and that's about it. Wow, look at all these words that we can use now. Great words, positive words, and powerful words. So let's see how we can use these in a Nikken context. Jade Greenzymes makes your immune system feel like it's 21 again. I'm not saying that it behaves like it's 21 again. I'm using a simile. But there's power in that example, isn't there? 10-4 helps fight tiredness and fatigue, refreshing your energy levels when you need it most. I'm not saying it does, although I know it does. I'm just being clever with my words. I'm saying it helps. The Naturest mattress topper comforts you while you sleep, offering virtually the best night's sleep you'll ever have. Now notice, I'm not claiming it is the best night's sleep you'll ever have, because I don't know how you've slept before or how you'll sleep in the future. But I'm saying it's virtually the best night's sleep you've ever had. And what does a person hear when I say that? They hear the best night's sleep I'll ever have. Wonderful. Can we use that language? Yes, we can. These are wonderful modifiers that help negate the claim, but at the same time, give power to our words so that we can say something robust. See how those examples work? And we can use that, like I said, I deliberately put that slide up before, because we can use any of these words, pull out the Nikan catalog and start building up a list of all the different things you can say using these different weasel words, these modifiers. If you don't like the word weasel word, that's just a marketing phrase, use the word modifier, okay? These modifiers have power and meaning and can help us a lot. Okay, on to the next example, the unfinished claim. I like this one. The unfinished claim, the goal here is to say it is better or more than the competition. We want to say that, of course, that's what the differentiation is all about, isn't it? When we look at the three buckets, the differentiation is saying, why buy this brand over the others? But here we get to say so much, but we don't actually specify how. We can use words like more, better, softer, quieter, wetter, less than, twice as much. You get it. Here are some examples that we'll see in a regular environment to give us context. Magnavox gives you more. Have you heard a phrase like that in an ad campaign somewhere? Well, more of what? I don't know, it just gives you more, right? But immediately we go to the superlative and we get encouraged and think more is better. Scott makes it better for you. Well, better than what? Makes what better? And how? Doesn't answer those questions. It's unfinished. But we like the word better for me, don't we? We like that. So we latch onto it and we finish the claim in our heads. It's great. I love this last one. Ford Ltd, 700% quieter. Well, the FTC actually challenged this Ford Motor Company on this, asked them to substantiate the claim because it was such a dramatic one. I love the answer. They revealed that they meant the inside of the Ford was 700% quieter than the outside. That's not what we assume they're talking about, though, is it? We assume what, 700% quieter than the competition? No, than outside, probably on a very noisy day. I love that. But that's not what they're saying. Now, I'm not suggesting that we get clever like that. I'm giving you examples so that you can see all around us every day, we see these unfinished claims bombarding us and we respond positively to them all the time. This is marketing practice, okay? How can I market my products better? Let me give you some examples. You can be sure if you're drinking Nikan water, it's better. Again, this is an unfinished claim, but better than what? Well, regulators can't say we're saying anything there that is of concern, but what I am saying is it's better. And the end user finishes the claim in their own head. You'll get more sleep with the Nikan sleep system. More than what? More than without? Now, we know all of these things are beneficial. We know these claims that we're saying here are true. They're good, they're valid, they're important. What I'm sharing here is examples of unfinished claims with positive messages that we can give with Nikan products. Yes, you will be drinking better water with Nikan. We can say that. Yes, you'll get more sleep with the Nikan sleep system. We can say that too. Kenzen Progesterone offers you better cardiovascular support, better blood pressure, better cholesterol levels. Again, better than what? It's not a scientific claim, it's an unfinished claim. We're not being specific there, but it allows us to say something positive. It allows us to say something with meaning, and it allows us to say something that is valuable to an end user that makes them want to respond and take action and have their own personal experience with the product, okay? So yes, we can use these unfinished claims. The scientific or statistical claim. This is the one where most of us go and we only ever use this claim. We go, and this is where regulators get strong on. Back it up, prove it, give evidence, okay? We need to be able to do that, okay? But we need to make sure that we can do this in a valuable or meaningful way. But as you can see, so many more claims that we can make outside of these claims, this one alone. I've got a comment coming up here, 1 second. Can we say your immune system, we will make your immune system stronger? Yes. It's an unfinished claim. Stronger than what? We haven't specified. We haven't specified stronger than what. So yes, we can say we can make the immune system stronger. Now, if we said, after suffering from coronavirus, now you're in trouble, yeah? Because now you're linking it to an illness or a disease. You can't do that. You want to make sure you're using an unfinished claim. So just think it through. But yes, you can say stronger. You can use that word, okay? Okay, so here's an example. Easy Off has 33% more cleaning power than another popular brand. Now note, another popular brand. Have you ever heard that before? That often translates as to some other kind of oven cleaner sold somewhere. Yeah, it's non-specific and they're probably not the competing brand. Also, it doesn't say that Easy Off works 33% better. It just says it's got more. We assume that more is better. Again, they're allowing the claim to help us finish the sentence in our head. Special Morning offers 33% more nutrition. Again, that's also an unfinished claim as well as a scientific one. Sinarest, created by a research scientist who actually gets sinus headaches. Again, that's an appeal to our value in authority. Yeah, so that's really helpful, isn't it, that we can do that? Now, how can this apply in NECAN, for example? Let's look at some statistical or scientific claims that we can make. The Kenko Power Mini has patented Dynaflux magnetic technology with 12 750 Gauss magnets, which ease stress and strain points in a targeted way. Okay, there is a reference to science by referencing the technology. Here's another example. The Kenko Backflex offers patented Dynaflex technology, which provides wonderful lower back support. Example number 3, relax with the Kenko Mag Duo. Now, I'm saying here it can help you relax. That's the inference, isn't it? Its dynamic field of magnetic energy can help provide immediate relief. Notice the modifier that I included in that statement as well. You see how some of these claims overlap. I've included the reference to some technology, a dynamic field of magnetic energy, but I'm also using a modifier, the word help, to provide immediate relief, okay? So we can use those types of words. So including modifiers with scientific or statistical claims can be a good way to work it if we are careful with our use of words. Again, what I would encourage you to do is to write these down, to practice them out. All of these companies that bombard us on a daily basis with all of these claims, they don't just let it roll off their lips and fall into our ears as some type of magical honey from heaven. They don't do that. They craft it, they practice, they fine tune, and they share and they discuss. So maybe we can start that process of building up a reservoir of claims that we can use, utilizing these different methods of claims to come up with some great messages. The we're different and unique claim. This kind of claim identifies that we're not like other products being promoted, okay? Now, here's an example. There's no other mascara like it. Have you heard a product claim like that before? That could mean a whole bunch of things, couldn't it? Only Doral uses this unique filter system. The assumption there is that unique is better again. Notice how they allow the end user to make assumptions and to move forwards in completing the claim in their own head. Either way, liquid or spray, there's nothing else like it. Again, the consumer interprets nothing else like it, meaning it's superior. They're not saying that. They don't specify that. It's interesting, you know, if in the world of marketing and claims, if you use the word better than the competition, that means something's significant. If you use the word we're the best, ironically, it means you're the same as everyone else. It means you can't claim that you're better than everyone else. If you're the best if you're the best at this, you're the same as everyone else. You're not claiming to be better. A better is a stronger word. It's funny how that works, but that's the nature of marketing claims. Okay, so here's the Nikken examples. Only Nikken filters water this way. Again, the assumption to extra detail suggests that this is something very superior. And again, we're inferring that, and we know it is, but we're not saying it specifically. Example number 2, there are no other insoles in the marketplace like these. I love that one. There are no other insoles in the marketplace like these ones. Only Nikken filters water this way. There is nothing out there like Kenzen immunity. Can we say all of this? Yes. We're identifying ourselves as unique and different. Does it sound good when you hear it? I hope you're listening going, yeah, that sounds good. I like that. Now, all we're doing is allowing the consumer to make an assumption. We're not saying it explicitly. That keeps us on safe ground and gives us so much scope for what we can say. Okay? So let's look at those ones and again, go through the catalog. Think of ways that we can, again, make that kind of difference, where we give comparisons this way without saying something specific. The vague claim, that kind of leads us on to the vague claim. The vague claim is simply just not very clear. Okay, I'll put this over here so we can see the picture here. And a lot of the vague claims contains weasel words or modifiers. Okay, so let me give you some examples. And again, I think you'll notice that these sound familiar to you. It's deep, rich lather makes hair feel good again. So we've heard things like that all the time, haven't we? How do you confirm how good hair feels or should feel? That's a good question, isn't it? Hard to measure that one specifically. Lips have never looked so luscious. Can you imagine trying to prove or disprove that claim? It's a hard one. You can't do that. For skin like peaches and cream. Again, notice this one has the modifier in there, the word like. It's using a simile there. Okay, so let's look at some Nikken examples where we can use vague claims that still have power because they're emotive in their language. Okay, let's have a look. Kenzen joint makes your knees feel great again. Kenzen vital balance, your stomach will thank you for it, or your waistline perhaps, or your energy levels, whatever you want to choose. Pick a feature or a benefit. The Kinko seat, give your seat the best seat. Okay, so here are some examples where we can just share emotional language. This one's a good one as well, the compliment the consumer claim. This one kind of butters up the consumer with some form of flattery. But we've heard these as well. You pride yourself on good home cooking. We think a Volvo driver is someone special for people with taste. Oh, excuse the typo there. You can see I've got some, they are not Nikken examples, number 2 or 3. That's my user error here on my side. Okay, the Nikken examples. The Nikken water system is for people who pride themselves in healthy living. Example number 2, Nikken, women that wear Nikken jewelry value elegance. Example number 3, men and women that understand the power of antioxidants use Nikken Super Siaga. You see how that type of language can help encourage people to make a decision, to act, to do something. Yes, I do understand the value of antioxidants. Yes, I do pride myself in healthy living. Yes, I do appreciate elegance. What am I going to do then? Well, I'm going to make this decision, gosh darn it, because I'm the kind of person that will. Okay, so here's the call to action as we wrap up our call. And thank you for allowing me to take a little bit more time on this call. But understand this, that marketing claims, creating them is a creative process. They fall into these 3 categories: the category driver, the differentiation, the context. Each have different meanings, each have different purposes and different business objectives. But we need to prepare, we need to plan, we need to have some time spent on careful copywriting. We need to appeal to emotions. Notice how many more categories, and there were more, by the way, more varieties of claims than the ones I went through this morning. There are more than simply the scientific or factual claims. So much more. Do you notice that? See how much more room we have to play with? We can be creative, look for emotions to appeal to them, look for solutions, and of course, embrace the facts as well. Now, I hope that this has been helpful to each of you as we've looked at ways today to say so much more in talking about our Nikken products. Notice all the different language that we can use. Wonderful ways that we can reach out, connect, and say so much. And again, today I deliberately avoided talking about what we can't say. This is a marketing class focused on what we can say to promote our business, our products, our opportunity, and everything that we enjoy with NECAM. So much that we can do, so much that we can say, so much space that we can play and have fun with. The opportunity is ours, but we need to take the time to invest in just doing a little bit of preparation first. So have fun, share in the WhatsApp groups. If you come up with some great claims, share them with others. Let us know some of the ideas that you're coming up with. If you got a question, you go, does this work or not? Shoot me a note, ask the question, share it, ask it to the group. Does this work? Can we say it or not? And we'll help craft them together. We can have a lot of fun here. Getting some feedback here on the chat just before we close. Thank you very much, Connie. I'm getting a standing ovation from the Livingston House. Okay, please promote this weekend's summit. Yes, I will do. Let me just add a couple of points here as well. A couple of things that'll help, of course. If you do want to know more around the scientific and the factual and the details, we always have a great class promoted on Tuesday evenings, 6 p.m. Pacific time with Dr. Gary Linder. His content is always rich and abundant with information. If you want to know the facts, the details, and the juice, the substance of our products as well. This one, like I said, has been a marketing class. We get the balance here, don't we? The yin and the yang coming out there, which I think is a great compliment for how we build our business together. This weekend, we have the Ladies Summit. I'm going to put it that way because I know there's 3 L's and I've missed one of the words. I apologize, but the Lady Leaders Summit this weekend. It's open for men. I've subscribed, I've signed up for it because this is a chance here to learn from all of the great women in our business that are leading the charge in a magnificent way. I want to applaud them. I want to let you know that I love them. I value their contributions. The way that they lead and make a difference is inspirational. There is so much good that we can gain from listening to these great women that lead with confidence and power. Sign up. There is a link online. There is a link, let me see. I'm going to actually ask Barbara. It's such a tongue twister for me. I apologize. Leading Ladies Summit. Barbara, do you want to just quickly unmute? And I'm just going to stop the recording here, though, so that we can have this carry on for others to watch later on.